All right, today we're diving into the pretty incredible work of biologist Bruce Lipton. His ideas are, well, they're challenging the very foundation of what most of us think we know about our own genetics. So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you're just kind of along for the ride? You know, that feeling that your health, your personality, maybe even your future, it's all just pre-written in your DNA? It's a really common way to feel. But what Lipton's work suggests is that's not the whole story, not by a long shot. And this really gets to the heart of what Lipton is asking. Are we just victims of our own heredity? Or is there something else, something much bigger going on here? This is the huge shift in thinking. The old view, what we call genetic determinism, basically tells us our genes are our destiny. It's that feeling of, it's in my DNA, what can I do? But the new biology Lipton is talking about, epigenetic control, it totally flips that script. It suggests that we are the ones in control of our genes. So what is the science that's behind such an empowering new view? Well, it's a field, and it's called epigenetics. So what on earth is epigenetics? To put it really simply, it's the study of how your environment, and yeah, even your thoughts, can act like a control panel for your genes. It can literally switch them on or off without changing your underlying DNA at all. Lipton has this fantastic analogy to make it all make sense. Just imagine for a second that your DNA is like a massive library, and every single book on every shelf contains the instructions for a specific function in your body. So who decides which of those millions of books gets pulled off the shelf and actually read? Well, that's epigenetics. It's the librarian. Your experiences, your environment, your perceptions, they're the ones deciding which genetic blueprints get used. That's pretty wild when you think about it, right? Okay, so if our cells can read all these different genetic blueprints, how are they listening to the world around them to know which ones to choose in the first place? Now this right here, this is the key. Lipton argues it's not objective reality that matters most to your cells, it's your perception of it. Your beliefs basically act as a filter, and it's that interpretation of the world that your cells are actually responding to. According to Lipton, our cells pretty much operate in two basic modes. When we feel safe, when we perceive love and support, they go into growth mode. That's when they thrive and repair and multiply. But the second we perceive a threat, they switch gears into protection mode, and all that energy gets redirected to defense. And here's the issue with our modern world, right? Being in constant protection mode because of chronic stress, it's like a castle pulling up its drawbridge and just never letting it down again. Yeah, you're protected from the outside world, but nothing good can get in either. All the resources that should be going to growth and maintenance are diverted to defense 24/7. So this all builds up to the most powerful idea in all of Lipton's work, the direct, totally measurable impact that our beliefs have on our own bodies. Let's use another great analogy. Think of your DNA as computer hardware, okay? It's the physical blueprint you were born with. It's like the read-only memory, or ROM. It doesn't really change. So if your DNA is the hardware, what's the software that's telling the hardware what to do? You guessed it, it's your beliefs. They are the programs that tell the hardware how to read the DNA and how to function. You can have the best hardware in the world, but if the software is full of bugs, that machine is just not going to run properly. So if our beliefs are this powerful software, where do they even come from? Where did we download them? A huge amount of this programming happens when we're really young. In early childhood, our brains are basically in a super learning state. They're like sponges, just absorbing everything from our environment, the good, the bad, all of it, without any kind of filter. And those early experiences, they lay the foundation for the subconscious beliefs that end up running our lives as adults. Okay, so if we've been programmed since we were kids, are we just stuck with it? Not at all. And this is the most empowering part of this entire idea. We can actually become conscious creators of our own reality. The whole point is, we are not passive passengers on some pre-planned genetic trip. We're active participants. We can become aware of those old subconscious programs, and yeah, with consistent effort, we can actually start to rewrite them. And Lipton doesn't just leave us with the theory. He suggests really practical tools. Things like mindfulness practices, so you can just observe your thoughts without judgment. Positive affirmations to consciously install new beliefs. Even things like hypnosis to access that subconscious mind directly. But it all starts with that very first step, just developing a self-awareness of the programs that are running in your background. Ultimately, what Lipton's work shows us is that this incredible, life-altering power to change our biology, to change our entire lives, it doesn't start with some huge, dramatic gesture. It starts with a single, conscious thought. And that really leaves all of us with a very personal and a very powerful question to think about. Knowing that you have this incredible potential, what new story will you choose to write for yourself?